All right. Hi, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. You can still hear me okay,
Yes, I
Lulu?
can still hear you.
Wonderful. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month's Health Chats. We are very excited this month to have a special speaker here, Lulu. But before we get started, I just want to acknowledge our wonderful sponsors. On the next slide, you'll see a list of our sponsors. So thank you so much to CVS Caremark, Elite Medical, HCP National, Plantel, and Cyene. So this month's Health Chats is really unique in that we're going to be focusing specifically on lifestyle change. And Lulu is an integrative health practitioner who trained at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. She studied over 100 dietary theories and focuses on clean eating and clean living with her clients. In addition to addressing the nutritional needs, she also specializes in emotional and mindset support, gut health, balancing hormones, and even toxin removal. She's super passionate about spreading the message of holistic health and hope, and we are so grateful to have her today as our guest speaker. I'm going to be able to pick her brain, and you guys get to, learn all about the work that she does and her approach to lifestyle care. So before we dive into the questions, I just want to start off and ask Lou, can you tell us more about how you got involved with integrative health?
Um, just to give you a little bit of my background, I'm an integrative health practitioner. The way that I started this is that I suffered from so many illnesses and diseases that I kept going to my doctor to try to get answers to figure out what was going on. I had chronic pain, depression, and I had so many illnesses, and all my doctors kept telling me that all of my lab tests kept coming out normal, so that there was nothing wrong with me. But I knew that there was something wrong because I did not feel healthy. So few years later into going into my doctor's office, she said that she found cancerous cells growing in my uterus, um, and she wanted to do some procedures to burn the cells. So that really scared me. I asked her to give me time. I left the doctor's office really scared. I prayed to the universe for some answers on what to do. I was driving, changing the station on the radio, and somehow I stopped at a station that I never listened to, and it was a nutritionist talking about lifestyle and food and how that it affects our health. So that became I religiously listened to that show. I started changing my lifestyle, changing my eating habits, and I went to the library. This was in the 90s. There was no Google or social media. So I pretty much spent most of my time researching in the library to figure out how to get my health back. I went back to my doctor 6 months later so that we can retest. And she said, "What did you do? There's no more cancer." So I became a believer. I wanted to help more people because I know how it's so confusing to know how to take back control of our health and how to empower ourselves. So that's when I decided to make this official and get certified so that I can help people at a greater level. And so, aside from the Institute of Integrated Nutrition, I went to the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, where that allows me to also run functional labs for my clients to see what's the underlying root cause of some of the symptoms that they are feeling and experiencing. So, I really love that. It really helps me help my clients at a deeper level. And so that's pretty much how I got really passionate about helping others take back control of their health.
Thanks for sharing that story, Lulu. I think a lot of us might, sometimes have nagging symptoms or, new diagnoses that, we're really struggling with searching for answers. And I think your story really highlights how big of an impact lifestyle change can make. Now, many people think that lifestyle change is all about dieting. Um, but can you shed some light on the difference between lifestyle change and dieting and what it actually means to have a healthy lifestyle?
Yes, dieting and lifestyle change are two completely different things. Dieting is a multi-million dollar industry. As most of us know, for the new year, most of us start a new diet. By February, March, most of us give up. And one of the flaws about dieting is that, first of all, there's so many of them out there, and there's marketed as a one size fits all. We're all individuals. Bioindividuality is a big thing that I work with my clients. We all have different body types, different needs, different things that our body is dealing with. So there can't be a one size fits all approach for everyone. So when we start a diet, we feel discouraged or feel ashamed because we feel like we didn't follow through. But it's really that it was a one size fits all approach that is not for everyone. And so diets really focus on calories, and they focus on exercise and the weight. So that's really what the focus of a diet is. And there's some diets, depending on the diet that we are following, it's it could be very restrictive with calories, and so the more we restrict our calories, the more likely we are to lower our metabolism. So now, if we're following a diet that is restricting us from eating, and we're lowering our metabolism, we may feel like we're doing something wrong, or we're not following the diet correctly, but we're really just slowing down our metabolism. And so the goal should not be, what is the least amount of food that I can eat? Because the less food we eat, the less nutrients we're going to get into our body so that we can be healthy. So the goal should be, what is the most amount of food that we can eat without gaining weight? And so that's kind of what lifestyle is. Lifestyle is not focused on just calories and exercise and eating less. It's focused on not how much we're eating, but what we're eating. Meaning, uh, is there nutrients in the foods that we are eating? Are we nourishing our body? So with a diet, some diets, depending on which one you're following, it's basically focusing on macros. Macros are like the main foods that we should be eating, which is protein, fats, and carbs. But if you're just focused on macros and not nutrients, you can very easily comply with that diet at McDonald's, because you can get the protein, you can get the fat, and you can get the carbs at McDonald's. So it's not focused on nourishing the body. And so with the diet, we are focusing on how much are we eating, not so much. We don't really need to focus on how much we're eating, but what are we eating? Are we eating nutrients or not? And it's not just about the foods that we're eating and exercise, but it encompasses our habits. Habits should be the focus in our life, because that's what creates the outcome. Where a diet is focused on the outcome, we want an outcome from it, the weight outcome. With a lifestyle, we're focusing on the habits that will eventually give us the outcome that we want. We're also focusing on with my clients, as an integrative health practitioner. I follow the de-stress protocol, which focuses on, it stands for diet, exercise, stress, because stress has a big part in our lives. So what stressors are creating certain habits? Also toxins. Do we have toxins in our body that could be hindering our progress for any of the goals that we want for our health and for our weight? Um, Also, rest. Are we resting? Are we sleeping? If we don't get enough sleep, if we sleep less than 5 to 6 hours a night, you may feel fine throughout the day, but research has shown that the less sleep you get, the more hungry you get, the more food you eat throughout the day, because our hunger hormones get thrown out of balance. The hormone that tells us that we're full gets thrown out of balance, so we eat more, and the stress gets thrown out of balance also. There's also our emotions play a big role in the decisions that we make regarding our habits and the food choices. The supplements, there's also supplements that we should be taking, because the foods don't have the nutrients that they used to 50, 60 years ago, because of soil deprivation. And then the success mindset, we work on the mindset. So it's a lifestyle encompasses everything. It's not just how many calories am I eating, and am I moving enough? Or let's eat less, let's move more. That's a diet mentality. Lifestyle is something that you can do for the rest of your life and not feel deprived, because it's also about enjoying the foods that you like. Being able to eat the foods that you enjoy without feeling guilty, but finding a way where it you can eat them and it doesn't hinder your progress or sabotage your goals. So it's about something that you can do for the rest of your life. That's really what the difference is between a lifestyle and a diet.
Thanks, Lulu. That's super helpful. And I love that you said that lifestyle change is really about the habits, because that means that you can start today and you can start small, and you don't have to kind of look at this huge big goal at the end. You can just take little changes at a time. And I think that really makes it much more manageable. I'm going to skip to a second question on the list, which is the mental health question. When I first was prepping with you for this interview, I love that you talked about trapped emotions and how much that could be hurting our health. And I think all of us, can work on mental health these days, given all the stress that we've gone through. So I'd love for you to tell us more about how trapped emotions does impact our health and what we can do about it.
Yes, that's one of the things that I really focus a lot with my clients, especially right now. After 2020, I've noticed that I've gotten a lot of clients that are really suffering with depression, anxiety, a lot of emotions. So that's really key. We really need to support ourselves through those emotions. And our body, our brain's main focus is to make sure that it protects us and puts and that it helps us survive. So there's signals that are being sent all the time, letting us know if we're hungry, if we're sleepy, if we need protection. So there's always signals. So um, if we are always in a state of fight or flight, which is the stress mode, so we have two states going on in our body. We're either in fight or flight, which means that we're stressed, or we're either in rest and rejuvenation. So most of us are constantly in fight or flight. So when our body is in fight or flight and stress mode, a lot of our normal functions get affected because if our body thinks that it needs to protect us, it slows down all of our main functions. It slows down our digestion. It slows down our breathing. It slows down. It thinks that we're running from a tiger. It doesn't know the difference between our body doesn't know whether we're running from a tiger or if we're just stressed out because we're running late to work or we're stuck in traffic. And so it just slows everything down to protect us. Because if it thinks we're running from a tiger, we don't have time to poop. If it thinks we're running from a tiger, we don't have time to stop and eat or to sleep. So it slows everything down. And so if we're constantly in that fight or flight mode, all of our functions really get affected. And that's where, if we can't digest our food, if we can't sleep, all of that gets affected. So the trapped emotions, for example, we have the kidney uh, and the bladder meridian. So I work with the meridians in the body. Those two are connected. That meridian runs from the back of our eyes up to over our head, to our back, to the back of our legs, all the way down to our pinky toe, to our small toe. So if I see a client who has a red pinky toe, that gives me an idea that that client's probably waking up to urinate many times throughout the night. That tells me that their bladder and their kidney meridian need some support. If you're having sciatic nerve pain, that tells me that your bladder and your kidney meridian needs some support, because that's the meridian. And the emotion that is connected with that meridian with the kidneys is fear. So we work on the fear. It could be minor fear. It could just be a fear of ending up at work late, or a fear of doing a presentation, or a fear of letting your parents down or your children down. It could be minor fears that are trapped there. So we work through those fears. One of the things that, if my client is having an imbalance meridian of the kidney and the bladder, aside from the biological issues that we work to rebalance, we also work to remove those trapped emotions. And so for fear, I would have my client do some sort of meditation, because meditation puts us in the present moment. And usually, when we're in the state of fear, we are in the unknown. We're over there, we're somewhere else. So we want to come back to the present and move through that fear, and so that we can start shifting that emotion. Um, for example, the liver, the emotion that's connected to the liver is anger. So the meridian, it runs through our right here by our eyebrows. So if you have very deep lines in between your eyebrows, or if you see somebody that's usually like cringing, their eyebrows, there's some anger being trapped, some anger that needs to be moved, some emotions of anger. So we work through all of those emotions as well, because that affects our habits, that affects our choices, and so it's really important to really shift and move through that as well. So there's different practices depending on which emotion we're working with.
Yeah, that's so fascinating how everything is truly very connected. And in normal medicine, from what I learned in medical school, doesn't really encompass all of that. So I think you have such a unique approach to that. Since we're running to the end of our time today, I don't think we'll have time for Q&A from the audience, but Lou, I would love for you to share with us how people can contact you and how you work with clients, because I think that there's going to be interest, hopefully, from folks who might want to learn more about what you do.
Sure. You can contact me. I'm on social media. My name on social media is Lulu Nutrition Goddess, and I spell Lulu with Loulou. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can find me Pinterest, or my website is the same, lulunutritiongoddess.com. And my email address is also lulunutritiongoddess@gmail.com. Um, I if I don't know if there's time to put a link on there for them to reach me. There's a scheduler. There's also, I would like to give a free guide for anyone that would like to start nourishing their body with some juicing. That's one of the things that I'm a big proponent about, so that we can start nourishing our body. But yes, I work virtually with my clients. So in a setting similar to this, we have weekly meetings where we do focus points depending on the focus and the goals that we are trying to reach, depending on the symptoms that my client is experiencing. My client has the option of running functional lab tests, which will tell us if there's any deficiencies in nutrients, which vitamins are deficient, if there are any toxins. Toxins play a big role in our symptoms, if there's any imbalances, gut imbalances, hormone imbalances. So we are able to run those tests to find out what's going on, what's creating the symptoms. Once the tests are run and we know what's going on, then I can put together a protocol to start rebalancing and resetting any of the imbalances, or removing any of the toxins that are there. So my whole goal is to really support and hold space for my clients. So I help them through the habit changing, not just what they're eating, but why they're eating it, when they're eating it. So why we used to eat to fill the hole in our stomach. Now most of us are eating to fill the hole in our heart, especially after last year. And so why are we eating? When are we eating? Is a really big thing that I really support my clients through it, to hold space and to kind of be a loving interrupter of that pattern, and I also am a mirror, raise awareness to some of the habits that may be creating some of the results that are creating the symptoms. So it's all done virtually. The initial sessions and everything, and then I send focus points, PDF, video support, and so that's how my practice is run, through virtual practice.
As some of you might know, we have a pretty robust lifestyle coaching program that's available at no cost to our membership through our health and wellness centers. This lifestyle coaching program focuses on all areas of lifestyle holistically, including not just nutrition and exercise, but also sleep and stress. You get a dedicated health coach who will touch base with you on a regular basis to help improve these areas of your lifestyle. And the program is really designed for anyone who has chronic conditions that are related to lifestyle, including high blood pressure, diabetes, elevated cholesterol, anyone who wants help with any weight loss, or if you really just want to feel better or prevent any chronic diseases that might run in your family. And so I work with the coaches in the program. I touch base with them on a monthly basis, and we help them with program development. And we've seen really amazing results with people improving their blood pressure and also their diabetes control. This is really an underutilized program, I think. So if you know of anyone in your organizations that would benefit from additional support with lifestyle coaching, this is a great program for them. Also, in addition, for anyone who has health questions or has any acute health concerns, we also have Teledoc available to our membership as well. And I actually hand it over to Maribel to see if she has any closing comments for us to be aware of.
Thank you, Lulu, for providing such detailed information regarding lifestyle changes. And after today's presentation, we'll provide Lulu's information. So please feel free to contact her. And as she indicated, the first 10 individuals to contact her will receive a copy of her healthy recipes. I will tell you they're great and they're easy to make. So I highly recommend that you contact her.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lulu.
You.
Thank you, everyone.
A pleasure.